Why am I Catholic? This is a question that I've been wanting to be able to answer. But it's been very, very difficult because if somebody met me on the street, I'm not sure what I would say. It's hard to define something that is everything that you are. I'm Catholic because I need a Savior, and that Savior is Jesus Christ. I was born and raised Catholic, but at a certain point in my life, I had to decide to be Catholic. This decision just came about organically, pretty much. I didn't even know that I had to make it. But there was a certain point in my life, I would say about 3 or 4 years after college, when I was in the so-called real world, where I was just going through the motions, and I just felt sad. And I also felt very exhausted, and now that I look back on it, I realized that I was spiritually exhausted. I had never doubted for 1 minute the existence of God. I had never doubted that Jesus came down on earth over 2,000 years ago to work out our salvation, but I did doubt my own ability to reach that salvation. So I knew in the back of my mind that I wasn't doing everything morally correct. But since I thought I can't reach it anyway, I'm just going to try to ignore it. Well, eventually what happened is I had an adult moment, because let's face it, I wasn't being an adult with that attitude. I had this adult moment where I said, okay, Christopher, how about you figure out exactly what the church says about morality in general? So when I did this, I started looking at the Bible, and I started reading the Catechism of the Catholic Church, and something funny happened. I just ate it up. I fell in love with the truth. I didn't realize that I was starving, and finally I was being fed. There were answers to things that I had always wondered about, and finally life was making sense. So what do I believe? I believe in one church. There is only one church that Jesus founded. He had a desire for us all to be one bread and one body. And if you look back into history, I think you'll always visibly see the Catholic Church. I believe that that church is holy, not because the people within it are sinless, but because they strive to be free of sin, and its founder, Jesus Christ, is the holiest human being to ever cross the earth. I believe that this church that we are all meant to be a part of is Catholic. Catholic means universal. It means that it's set aside for all time, for all people, and in all circumstances. I think if you look at the Catholic Church with a large C, you can go anywhere in the world and you'll recognize the Mass. You'll recognize the common communion that we all have. And along with that communion that we have, there's the way that God administers His holiness to us. And that's through the sacraments. When we go to Mass, there's something that you cannot find in any other form of Christianity, and that's the orientation towards sacrifice. Heaven comes down to earth, and we relive the moment that stands outside of time where Jesus sacrificed Himself. It's not that we're re-sacrificing Jesus. It's that moment is so powerful that the love that He poured out is constantly offered to us. And we encounter Him in the bread and wine, in His real physical presence. And lastly, I believe in an apostolic church. A church that has the authority of Jesus because it goes all the way back to Jesus through the succession of the bishops who were appointed by the apostles, who were witnesses to Jesus' saving word. And we all need to remember to be witnesses to the love that Jesus calls us to have for one another, to the love that Jesus has for us. And so, if you ask me, why are you Catholic? My answer would be Jesus Christ. So, why are you Catholic? Let me know. We're all in this universal church together.